Hello everyone and welcome back. Today I'll be featuring once again the Altenew Peony Bouquet stamp set, and this time I'm going to be stamping the three layers, and for my solid stamp I will be using the color of my cardstock. This is a nice way to stretch some of your supplies, and also for those layering stamp sets that need several different inks for the various layers. So I'm starting by stamping my outlined flower with a dark ink that was the raspberry gem. Now for my second layer I am using Hot Lips from Simon Says, and this actually is the third layer, as the second layer will be the color of my cardstock. And I stamped the third layer, that is the most detailed one, with the same raspberry gem ink. It can take a bit of time to have a perfect alignment of all these layers, but with a bit of practice you can get some very cool results. I wanted two flowers for my layout, so I've stamped another flower right underneath my first stamped flower. And just because I enjoyed experimenting with this technique, I picked a different colored cardstock. I have a pool color cardstock, and my inks are teal and scuba from Simon Says. So once again I will be stamping the outline with the darkest, then the next layer with the lightest, and the last layer with the first dark color. And here are both my cards. I really love the stamp set, and this flower is absolutely gorgeous. I love the details and how elegant it is. For my next step, I created myself a mask. I stamped the flower onto a sticky note sheet, and now I'm just placing my mask on top of my flower, making sure that they align perfectly. And with my blending tool and the pigment ink Unicorn White, I'm going to cover the front of my card base with this white ink. And as you can see, the color of the cardstock changes. It turns much more lighter, and where I have that mask there, it will basically seem that I've stamped with different colors. Instead, I used only two colors, and one is from my cardstock. So I'm just peeling off my mask very carefully. I was really impatient to see how that looks. I just love how this flower pops onto that lighter background, and how it pretty much seems that I've stamped the solid layer with an ink. Instead, I've used the color of my cardstock. I applied a very thin layer of this ink because, as all pigment inks do, they do take some time to dry. You also have to be careful not to pick this ink with your fingers while it's still wet. I repeated the same process for my teal color cardstock, and even though this cardstock it is much more lighter than the pink one, you can still see the difference before and after applying the white ink. I really love this technique. I had so much fun experimenting, and also that I could use some of my color cardstock that I barely used on my cards. I'm just fixing some areas with my blending tool, and my second card is done. I'm gonna put these aside to dry, and I did one more, so I'm working on a very light blue color cardstock. The inks that I'm using are Steel Blue and Cloudy Sky from Simon. And the only thing that I did different here, I just wanted to try and see if I switched to a different color instead of the white pigment ink. So I've picked a blue ink. These distress inks are easily to blend, that's why I've picked this ink and not regular dye inks. Also, this one stays wet longer, so you have to be careful not to pick this up with your fingers. I really love how these flowers pop onto this blue background that I created. You can try this with so many different inks, also create like a gradient background. I think it would look pretty amazing. Now for my next step, I die cut some frames out of a piece of vellum. I used a penny black die, and I wanted to decorate a bit my frame, so I embossed a gold polka dot pattern. This is a background stamp from Impression Obsession, so I'm just inking my stamp with my Versamark, sorry, and then I'm just placing my vellum on top, very carefully not to pick that ink with my fingers. And now I can put my powder and emboss my frame. This is my first voiceover. I'm sorry if I sound chaotic. To me it's much more difficult like this. I don't think I'm gonna be making other voiceovers. So yeah, I just wanted to try it out. Now each time you emboss vellum, you have to be sure that your heat gun is pretty warm, otherwise you will warp your vellum. For my sentiment, I will be stamping the thank you from this Altenew stamp set. I'll have all the links to the supplies listed below and also on my blog if you want to check those out. I'm gonna be stamping this in black ink. And the ink that I'm gonna be using today is from Hero Arts. It's the new black ink. It's not new to them, but it's new to me. I really love how this ink stamps. It's very crisp and very black, but still my favorite remains the VersaFine Onyx Black. One of the things that I've noticed is that the Hero Arts ink dries out much more faster than the VersaFine Black, so if that's an issue for you, you want to take that in consideration. I have here a piece of pink vellum that's also embossed with a polka dot pattern. This was from a set by Studio Calico that I purchased a couple of years ago. And I wanted to match this with my pink card. So I've placed down a strip of foam tape. And I'm adhering my vellum right on top. And then I will adhere my sentiment label with the same foam tape. I just wanted to add a bit of dimension. That's why I've used 2 layers of this foam. I finished my cards in the same way. I've put the gold embossed frame onto my teal cardstock. And for the blue card that I made, I just wanted some silver there, so I embossed the same pattern with the liquid platinum by Ranger. This is a gorgeous warm silver powder, and these jars by Rangers are huge. They last such a long time. I have this for like 2.5 years, and I still have like half a bottle there, half of jar. Now to finish my cards, I added some clear sequins, and these are the Assorted Moonshine pack from Simon Says. I am adhering these down with the multimedia mat. And here are the 3 cards that I made. I'm sure I could have done more and stamped some leaves also, but I just didn't have the time. I just wanted to share this with you and maybe give you some inspiration. I thank you all for watching, and I will see you next time. Bye bye.